There was one gentleman from England that seemed to catch her attention, and of course mine. And as practical as it may sound, for some reason a local unemployed surfer with no ambition and a tenuous grasp of the English language just seemed like a more sensible choice to me. But before long, Ian was here and Heather was flying back and forth to England. I watched the both of them closely, had their phones tapped, and paid her fence report on her daily. When Chris Van der Molen first met Ian, he openly took a picture of him with his cell phone, just in case. Today, I think Ian and Heather are just great together, and I'm delighted to welcome Ian to the family. He's finally getting a little color, a little tan. I'm using new words like proper and gobsmacked and mate. By the way, if you want to check the oil on your car, you don't open the hood, you lift the bonnet. Thank you. And finally, he has learned the correct side of the road to drive on. Heather probably doesn't remember this, and I don't think Ian does either. But they actually both met once briefly when Heather and her Uncle Joe were visiting Europe several summers ago. For those of you who don't know it, after Ian's military duty in the British Army, he was a trucking logistics coordinator, quite often driving the large trucks in England they call lorries, including sometimes special deliveries across the English Channel and mainland Europe. Uncle Joe recalled the moment and asked him to check into it, so he's not here to correct me if I miss anything. Apparently one morning, when Heather and her Uncle Joe were in Paris, they were sitting in a small street-side cafe called La Volée Rouge, just off the Ave Champs-Élysées. They had their map out, deciding the day's itinerary. Uncle Joe found what he thought was a great shortcut, the Jardin du Palais, the Royal Gardens, where he wanted to start out their day. Heather, on the other hand, wanted to make her way over to the Champs-Élysées for a nice walk up the historic boulevard to the famous Arc de Triomphe. Heather noticed a gentleman in a work jumpsuit at the table behind her, finishing the coffee and asking his waitress in English for his bill. She started chatting with him, asking for directions around town. The gentleman politely informed her that he was a lorry driver from England, and he did not know his way around Paris all that well. Joe jumped in and started sharing some interesting anecdotes about England. Not wanting to be a bothersome typical tourist, Heather interrupted her uncle and told them they needed to get going. They'd paid their bill, gathered their things, and started walking towards the main boulevard, weaving their way between the early morning shopkeepers, putting their signs out and washing down the sidewalk. Joe saw an interesting display in one of the shop windows. And while Heather was standing there patiently, she turned and looked back to make sure she hadn't left anything on her table. She noticed the gentleman was now standing, taking the last sip of his coffee before he headed back to his truck. And she stopped briefly when he looked up at her. A little too fast. They both caught each other's eyes intently and shared a smile. Joe looked over to see what Heather was staring at. He got her attention. Without another thought, Heather turned and they went on their way. It wouldn't be until a year later that fate would have their paths cross again. And so here we all are tonight. Stop it. Heather, I'm almost done. Life is like a box of chocolates. You don't always know what you're going to get, but you can be fairly sure it's going to be pretty amazing. Things won't be perfect all the time, but they can be most of the time. Don't shy away from challenges or failures. Those will be some of the best lessons you learn. And make your successes, no matter how small or large, that much more sweet. As you go from here, keep your spirit, protect your dreams, cherish and love each other. Be supportive, but not enabling. Have sympathy, but practice empathy. If you have a tough day, leave it at the door. There are certainly better ways to spend your time together. Don't expect things, but be gracious when help is offered or compliments are paid to you. You learn everything you need to know in kindergarten. Be kind and polite. Pay attention. Take turns. Share. Follow the rules. Don't speak out of turn. Be creative. And that's all I have to say about that. I'd like to ask Heather's grandfather, Gene, to come up and share some of his words of wisdom. He's been married for 36 years.
Mine's going to be a lot shorter.
Yeah.
But anyway, Diane and I got married 36 years ago. And I always felt that God led us together, just like He led you two together. And there are lots of reasons, and that if you stop to think about it, that's true. Well, anyway, with Diane, she already had 4 children, and I had 2 children. Anyway, I told one of my aunts that I was going to marry Diane, and she said, "You're nuts. 4 children? But look at us here today. I wouldn't have any of this family if it weren't for Diane." And Diane really wanted to be here. And she isn't stupid. Yes. But anyway, you have to work at marriage. You'll have some cases, you know, where you have a little squabble or something like that, but it's nothing you can't work through. And marriage is supposed to be a triangle, a love triangle, with God at the peak of that triangle. And just kind of keep that in mind. Lay that as your foundation. And you'll have a happy marriage along with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gene. Everybody have a round of applause for Gene. All right. Oh, Heather, one more thing. Don't forget your way home every now and then. To all the honored guests and family members, have a wonderful evening. And thanks again for being here on this momentous occasion. Please, everyone, raise your glass and join me in a toast for the happy couple, my daughter, Heather Fithian White, and my new son-in-law, her husband, Duncan, Ian Duncan White. Salute.
Salute.
Hey, shake and bake.
It means the world to me, and to be here on Ian's and Heather's special day is very exciting and important to me. This is kind of like a race day when we show up to the track in the morning with the Cobra. Excitement suddenly turns to panic. Ian did go with us once on one of our race days. Yeah, he sucked. Of course, he's already working on his offshore account, so Heather doesn't catch him tapping into their vacation funds when he builds his car. Ian has spent a lot of time with me and my friends in the last year. That in itself is remarkable. Has Heather seen your new tattoo yet? Just
Well, tonight.
Well, we didn't lose you in Tijuana or on a sun-baked Vegas roof, or need any body casts or blood transfusions. So I'd say all things considered, we did rather well. Now, I know it's a long way from your home in England, and I'm sure that your family and friends, although they could not be here today, are just as excited as the rest of us for you in heaven.